my second son, full blood brother to my eldest son, who I have sole custody of. He's 12. He's out there now, probably should be in bed. Got a 5-year-old son too, that's here as well. But my second son, Fox, he's the only one I'll elaborate on by name on here. I don't even think that's his name anymore. Their mom's a screw up. My two eldest sons' mom's a screw up. That's why I've got custody of our first son. But I didn't know about our second son until he was a year old. So I lived in. I immediately, as soon as I found out about him, I knew the mom didn't have him. So I approached child welfare in Chatham, Ontario. Director Mr. Stevens. We arranged a paternity test, confirmed he's mine. This was all in '05, just after his first birthday. They were working with me, and then they kind of like backtracked and decided not to work with me. So after I confirmed paternity, I was trying to get the ball rolling and get this thing to court. So I eventually did the same year, '05. But I guess when they decided to work against me, I'm not sure why they changed their stance to this day. Like I'm an abstainer. I'm drug-free, alcohol-free. And that means all drugs. Thank you. No legal or illegal drugs. No prescriptions. Straight edge. And I've got custody of my other son for his entire life. So they had nothing against me to say that way. But anyway, they were working with me, and by the time it got to court, they weren't working with me, despite the fact I had already confirmed paternity. It's hard. It's hard for me to talk about. I do have the one bad habit, cigarettes, so excuse me. Anyway, Mr. Stevens and his lady directly under him, Miss Whiteman, Miss B. Whiteman, were the only people I was allowed to talk to. I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody else about the matter. Anyway, I lose my train of thought here, but it all makes perfect sense in my head, so I'm going to try to make it make perfect sense on here. I found a document in the mom's court file that proved that the agency out there in Chatham-Kent knew prior to my Fox's birth, like months prior, that I was his dad, because it cited me, and only me, as his likely father. The mom had this on her court file, and it was stamped with all the Chatham-Kent stuff. Sandra Pepper's name attached to it, the social worker. She didn't know what to do, and anyway, she was told to basically disregard it. Anyway, yeah, this was prior to Fox even being born, so they were aware of me all along. Anyway, I found out about him just after his first birthday. I approached him, they arranged a paternity test, I confirmed paternity. I'm trying to find a way to get this to court. It's hard because I live in Barrie, Ontario, and he's in Chatham, Ontario. Pretty far away. Anyway, I eventually get it to court with a lawyer in Barrie and an agent in Chatham, Mr. Desmond. Anyway, I go to file a motion to set aside the wardship order, and then somehow that got messed up. And they thought I was supposed to file something different, but I wasn't. That's what I was supposed to file. So eventually that got filed. But it was in December of that year, 2 days before Fox's adoption was finalized. This is just off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure the documents were filed either December 17th or December 21st, something like that, and then December 23rd the adoption was finalized. These dates are probably off by a couple days, but I mean, that's how close it was. Anyway, I was already before the courts with a motion to set aside the crown wardship based on it being more or less legally obtained. I don't think full disclosure was provided to the courts because they never acknowledged any potential fathers, anything like that. So that's a motion I brought. But anyway, 2 days later they finalized Fox's adoption without giving me any notice, despite the fact I was before the courts on the matter, and I had already established paternity through them, through Chatham-Kent Integrated Children's Services. And then, to make matters worse, they didn't even inform me he was adopted until after the appeal period had expired. So, it's a black market. It's all about money. It's all private corporations here, right? There's no oversight. It's one of the few provinces where the ombudsman doesn't have oversight over child welfare. They're all private corporations. It's all about the almighty dollar. Fictional dollar. But nonetheless, that's what it's all about here. It's a business like any other. Anyway, so I eventually get it to court. McSorley saw pretty much everything my way. Great verdict. My solicitor, I actually relocated to Hamilton throughout the process of this to be closer to court. But anyway, my solicitor after the fact, Mr. Mang of Toronto, he managed to get us a really good verdict the first go around. McSorley agreed with us on everything. Gave me said I was a parent entitled to status in the proceedings. Gave me the right to bring a motion to set aside the wardship order. Long story short, I lost on appeals. After the pro-me verdict, or the pro-us verdict, I should say. It's not just about me, it's about the kids. Ian drafted a civil suit, loss in care of Fox, all this stuff all told. He was going to do it on a contingency, pro bono basis, whatever you want to call it, for 35% plus court costs. But I mean, loss in care of Fox, Deacon being robbed of his only full-blood sibling he'll know, etc., etc. We were going to sue them for $6.5 million. I already have the lawsuit drafted. It's still sitting there, but I guess after we lost the case, Ian decided not to pursue it. Citing case law evolving, making it harder to successfully sue these people. So the case made it to the Superior Court of Canada. Well, actually it didn't, but we got granted leave from Osgoode Hall to go to the Superior Court of Canada, but they decided against hearing the matter, probably because all 3 judges in Osgoode Hall are unanimous. It's because they appointed Fox an OCL lawyer, who of course sides with the idiots that appointed him. So yeah, that's the Fox story to date, and it was 7 by the time it got that far in court. So like I said, he's 9 now. This is 2013, so he'll be 10 next year. I've still never met him. I still struggle with his daily, but I will. I love him. I do what I can. I fight like few other men even could. I watch a movie like Pursuit of Happiness, and I think Will Smith is a deadbeat who doesn't even try, by comparison. It's just the way it is. I'll make 1,000 Hollywood movies about my life story quite easily. All that matters to me is my kids. It's all that's ever mattered. So yeah, I'll elaborate more on the Fox thing because that ain't a one video thing. Anyway, this will make sense to probably almost no one who views it. Alright. This one's over.